Previously on What If the Rulers Betrayed the Monarchs, Jin-Woo found solace amidst ruins and fleeting peace. Yet, the echoes of an ancient threat stir once more, pulling him back into a world on the brink of chaos. The balance has shattered. New enemies arise, and old powers awaken. The next chapter begins, with shadows stretching longer and darker than ever before. Far away, in what had once been the dimensional void between worlds, remnants of divine light floated like dying embers. Among them drifted shapes, fragments of broken halos, shattered wings, and echoes of voices too faint to understand. And from that silence, a single spark pulsed. It was not the source, but something new, a convergence of light and shadow left behind when Jin-Woo merged the two forces. It had no name, no intent yet. Just awareness. He defied the beginning, it thought. Then perhaps I shall become the middle. The spark pulsed again, splitting into dozens of smaller fragments. Each one drifted away, carried by the remnants of the void wind, scattering across realities. Days passed. Governments reformed. The Hunter Association rebuilt communication towers. News broadcasts resumed, cautious but hopeful. They spoke of the final light storm that had destroyed every gate but spared humanity itself. No one knew exactly what had happened, though rumors spread fast that a man of shadows had fought the gods. Some called him a savior. Others whispered his name like a curse. Jin-Woo stayed hidden. He no longer felt the need to lead or rule. He watched the world recover from afar, moving like a ghost through cities being reborn. One evening, he found himself standing at the same coastline where he had once fought Antares. The sea was calm again, waves rolling gently under the fading sunset. He could almost hear the echoes of that battle, the roar of the dragon monarch, the shattering of space. But when he closed his eyes, all he heard was the sea. "It's over," he murmured. "Truly this time." Then, faintly, a whisper came from behind him. "You sound disappointed." Jin-Woo turned. A man stood a few meters away, tall, dressed in simple gray clothes, eyes glowing faintly with shifting light. Not divine, not shadowed. Balanced. "Who are you?" Jin-Woo asked, though part of him already knew. The man smiled. "A remnant. A ripple of what you left behind when you broke the source. I suppose you could call me, the Echo." Jin-Woo's stance tightened. "If you're another version of it, I'll finish this now." "No need," the Echo said calmly. "I'm not your enemy. You destroyed the system, but something must maintain the weave of reality. That's what I am, the thread between what was and what will be." Jin-Woo frowned. "And you came to tell me that?" "Yes," the Echo said softly. "And to warn you. Every world born from your defiance will carry both light and shadow. That balance will need guardians." Jin-Woo's eyes narrowed. Guardians. Not gods. Not monarchs. Just people strong enough to choose. He turned toward the horizon, where faint lights shimmered like new stars. They will awaken soon, hunters born without rulers or gates, their power drawn from memory itself. They'll shape the next age. Jin-Woo said nothing. The Echo looked back at him, smiling faintly. "And when they do, they'll need someone to guide them." Jin-Woo smirked. "I retired, remember? Then consider this, a part-time job." The Echo's form flickered, dissolving into motes of balanced light. The wind picked up again. Jin-Woo stood there for a long time, staring at the horizon. For the first time since becoming a hunter, he didn't feel alone, not in power, not in burden. He whispered to the fading light, "Guardians, huh?" The waves crashed softly in reply. He turned and began walking along the shore, footprints trailing behind him that the tide never managed to erase. A year passed. The world had changed in ways that no one could have predicted. Hunters still existed, but they no longer drew their powers from gates. Their energy came from something deeper, memory. The collective echo of battles fought, lives lost, and courage etched into the soul of humankind. No one understood it completely, not even the scientists or surviving high-rank hunters. But the new awakenings were different. Subtle. Natural. Some could manipulate shadows, others could heal with light, some even commanded elements unknown before. The Hunter Association called them Echo-born. Jin-Woo lived quietly in the outskirts of Seoul, using an alias, pretending to be just another man. His small house overlooked the edge of a rebuilt district, a place filled with laughter, food stalls, and the sound of children chasing each other. He had no throne, no army, no gates to conquer. And yet, every night, when the moon rose high, he felt it, faint vibrations across the air. The rhythm of mana returning in a new form. That night, as he sat by his window sipping tea, Beru appeared in the shadow beside him, his form still barely holding together. My king. Beru's voice was softer now, almost human. The balance has changed. Shadows do not answer the way they used to. Jin-Woo nodded. They're becoming part of the world itself. The system's energy is bleeding into nature. Soon, there won't be a difference between light and shadow. Beru frowned. And what will become of us? Jin-Woo smiled faintly. You'll fade, like stories told too many times. But that's not a bad thing. It means the world doesn't need us anymore. Beru tilted his head, clicking faintly. Yet my loyalty remains, even as my form fades. Jin-Woo looked at him with quiet affection. Then stay with me till the end, old friend. Beru bowed deeply, his form shimmering before settling into stillness beside Jin-Woo. Days later, reports began to spread across the globe. Entire cities were witnessing new awakenings, people summoning weapons from memory, others recalling fragments of forgotten battles in dreams. It was as though the world itself remembered the war between monarchs and rulers, and was rebirthing power through its echoes. One morning, Jin-Woo sensed something unusual. A pulse, sharp, resonant, and unmistakably powerful, coming from the ruins of the old Hunter Academy. He disappeared from his home in a flicker of shadow. The academy was silent. Ivy and cracked stone marked where proud towers once stood. But amid the rubble stood a young man, no older than 20. His dark hair fluttered in the wind, and his hands glowed with a faint silver hue. He turned sharply as Jin-Woo appeared behind him. Who's there? Jin-Woo observed him quietly. You felt it too, didn't you? The call. The young man blinked, confused. I don't know. I was just here. And then I saw. Suddenly, a ripple of space opened behind him, not a gate, but a distortion, like a wound in reality. From it crawled something malformed, an echo of a beast that should not exist. The young man panicked, stumbling backward. What is that? Jin-Woo stepped forward, calm. An echo of the old war. A leftover fragment of what once was. He raised his hand, shadows flowing around his arm like liquid. The air trembled, then collapsed inward as the echo beast screamed and disintegrated into dust. The young man stared in awe. Who are you? Jin-Woo smiled faintly. Just someone who's been through this before. The young man hesitated. My name's Han Jae-min. I think I'm, like you. I can feel things, memories that aren't mine. I saw a dragon, a war, and a man made of shadows. Jin-Woo's expression didn't change, but his voice softened. Then you've inherited more than you know. From who? From those who fought before you, Jin-Woo said. From those who carried the world on their shoulders so you could stand here today. Over the following months, Jin-Woo quietly gathered more of the Echo-born. Each one unique. Each one carrying fragments of the old world, instincts, memories, even fighting styles they'd never learned. A girl named Min Seo could command spectral beasts like miniature versions of Jin-Woo's old shadows. A boy from Busan could manipulate light to heal wounds instantly. Another, from Japan, could distort time within a 5-meter radius. They didn't know it, but together, they were the seeds of the new balance. One evening, as they trained in an abandoned arena, Han Jae-min struggled to summon his weapon. Frustration flared. Why can't I control it? It's like something's holding me back. Jin-Woo watched silently for a while before speaking. You're trying to remember something that isn't yours. Stop forcing it. Let it remember you. Han blinked. Let it remember me. Jin-Woo nodded. These powers aren't gifts. They're echoes. Fragments of souls searching for purpose. Show them who you are. Han closed his eyes. His breathing steadied. Slowly, the silver light around his hands took shape, forming a sword. Its design was jagged, resembling both Antares' claws and Jin-Woo's dagger Kamisha's wrath. When he opened his eyes, the air pulsed. The sword hummed, resonating with his heartbeat. Jin-Woo smiled faintly. Good. Now you understand. Beru, watching from the shadows, muttered proudly, he fights like you did once, my king. Jin-Woo replied quietly, that's the point. So they can surpass me. But deep within the void between worlds, something stirred. The fragments of the echo, that balance entity that had once spoken to Jin-Woo, began to vibrate, merging with pieces of forgotten monarch energy. And in that fusion, consciousness bloomed. A voice whispered through the emptiness, soft and ancient. If balance cannot be kept, it must be remade. A new being began to take form, neither monarch nor ruler, but something beyond them both. The first guardian, corrupted. The night sky was unnaturally bright. Threads of faint blue light rippled across the stars, like cracks forming in the fabric of reality itself. Jin-Woo stood at the top of the rebuilt Soul Tower, eyes narrowed as he watched the distortions spreading. He could feel it, something familiar, yet twisted. A power that once belonged to the source, now pulsing with corruption. Beru materialized beside him, wings flickering weakly. My king, the sky bleeds mana again. It feels wrong. Jin-Woo nodded slowly. The balance is fracturing. The echo warned me this might happen. Beru hissed softly. Could it be the rulers or monarchs returning? No, Jin-Woo replied, his gaze still fixed on the horizon. It's something new. Something made from both. Elsewhere, in a forest north of Incheon, Han Jae-min and the other Echo-born were sparring. The air crackled with raw power, light and shadow colliding in brief bursts. Min Seo's spectral wolf lunged at Jae-min, only to dissolve when his silver blade sliced through it. She smirked. You're getting better. He grinned, panting. You're just getting predictable. Before she could retort, the ground trembled violently. The sky flickered, colors bleeding into each other like oil on water. What the hell? Jae-min started, but then a pulse of dark blue energy exploded outward, flattening trees and shattering stones. From the epicenter rose a figure. It looked human at first, tall, elegant, almost regal. But its eyes were two swirling voids of light and shadow, and its skin shimmered like fractured glass. The air around it distorted, as if reality itself bent to accommodate its presence. The being looked around slowly, then spoke in a voice layered with echoes, masculine and feminine, human and divine all at once. I was born from your balance, it said. Created by your contradiction. And I will bring unity through erasure. Jae-min raised his sword defensively. Who are you? The being smiled faintly. I am what remains of the source. I am the corrupted guardian. Back at the tower, Jin-Woo felt the shockwave hit him like a hammer. His instincts flared immediately. He vanished in an instant, reappearing above the forest just as the battle began. The Echo-born fought bravely. Min Seo commanded her beasts, light weavers fired bursts of radiance, and Jae-min slashed with his silver blade, every strike filled with desperation. But the guardian moved effortlessly, deflecting every attack with a mere thought. Each time it struck back, the land shattered. Craters formed, energy storms erupted. When Jin-Woo appeared, the battle froze for a moment. The corrupted guardian tilted its head. Ah, the shadow that defied gods. Jin-Woo's eyes hardened. And you must be their mistake. The guardian's smile widened. Mistake? No, sung Jin-Woo. I am their perfection. You broke the chains of creation, and I am the result of that freedom. Jin-Woo extended his hand. The shadows rippled across the battlefield, forming soldiers, faint, unstable, but still loyal. Beru emerged beside him with a furious roar. King of Shadows, the Guardian whispered. Let us see if your darkness can survive true balance. The battle ignited. The forest exploded into chaos. Every clash between Jin-Woo and the Guardian sent shockwaves through the land. Their speed blurred reality. One moment shadows engulfed the sky, the next it blazed with radiant energy. Jin-Woo swung his blade, slicing through the Guardian's arm, but it reformed instantly, light stitching through the wound like molten glass. You can't kill balance, the Guardian said, striking back. A beam of mixed mana shot from its hand, catching Jin-Woo square in the chest and sending him crashing through a mountain ridge. Beru lunged, shrieking, claws wreathed in shadow fire, but the Guardian caught him midair, crushing him with a flicker of divine force. Beru's form shattered into motes of black light. Beru! Jin-Woo roared, teleporting back with fury burning through him. His aura erupted, not as darkness, but as pure, destructive intent. You wanted balance. Jin-Woo snarled. Then let me show you what imbalance truly looks like. He unleashed everything. The ground fractured under the force. Shadows poured from every crevice, from every echo born still standing. The Guardian staggered, for the first time showing a hint of strain. You destroy what you protect, it hissed. You prove my purpose. Then maybe you should have stayed forgotten, Jin-Woo growled, driving his blade through the creature's chest. There was a blinding flash, light and darkness colliding violently. The explosion consumed the entire forest. When the dust settled, the land was gone. Only a vast crater remained. Jin-Woo stood in the center, panting heavily. His cloak was torn, his skin burned. Around him, faint remnants of the Echo-born stirred. Jae-min struggled to his feet, clutching his side. Did we win? He asked weakly. Jin-Woo looked at the horizon. The Guardian's body was gone, only a fading ripple of energy remained. For now, Jin-Woo said quietly. But that was only the beginning. He turned toward his students, eyes firm. The balance has shifted again. The world is remembering its power, and it's not done testing us. Jae-min swallowed hard. Then what do we do? Jin-Woo sheathed his blade. We prepare. Far above, unseen by any mortal eye, fragments of light began to reform. The corrupted Guardian's voice whispered faintly through the void. You cannot erase what was born from your will. Jin-Woo, I am your echo, and your sin. The air still smelled of burning stone. The once lush forest was now a barren scar, miles wide. Jin-Woo stood in silence, staring at the crater where the corrupted Guardian had vanished. For the first time in years, he felt something he hadn't felt since his first awakening, doubt. Had he truly ended it, or merely delayed it? Jae-min limped closer, clutching his broken sword. That thing. It felt alive. Like it knew everything about you. Jin-Woo's expression didn't change. It did. Because in a way, it was me. Min Seo frowned. What do you mean, sir? He looked at them, these new warriors, young, brave, and uncertain, and saw in them a reflection of his old self, back when he was still human, still struggling to understand what power meant. When I merged light and shadow to end the war, Jin-Woo began slowly, I created something new. The balance that replaced the system. But energy doesn't disappear, it changes form. The corrupted Guardian is the result of that change. It's a consciousness that grew from the pieces I left behind. So it's like your child? Jae-min asked hesitantly. Jin-Woo gave a faint, bitter smile. Maybe. A child born from the mistake of thinking I could control everything. Over the following days, the group set up a base near the ruins, a temporary refuge built from scavenged steel and mana residue. Jin-Woo rarely slept. He spent his nights reconstructing shadow maps of the world, searching for distortions. And every night, the same feeling gnawed at him, the faint pulse of the Guardian, still alive somewhere. One evening, Min Seo approached quietly. You haven't eaten, sir. He didn't look up. I don't need to. She sighed. The others look to you for hope. If you fall apart, they will too. Jin-Woo turned, his eyes softer than his words. Hope isn't something you get from watching someone strong. It's something you create when you decide not to break. Min Seo hesitated, then said quietly, "You sound like someone who's already broken." For a long moment, Jin-Woo said nothing. Then he looked back at the glowing map. Maybe. But that's why I can still fight. Training resumed the next day. Jin-Woo pushed them harder than ever. Again, he said, as Jae-min staggered from another failed attack. You're relying on memory. Stop trying to copy my moves. Jae-min gritted his teeth. But it's the only way I can. Wrong, Jin-Woo interrupted sharply. You're not me. You never will be. And that's your strength. My path ended. Yours is beginning. He moved faster than anyone could see, disarming Jae-min and pinning him with a blade of shadow. Adapt. Don't imitate. The young hunter struggled, frustration blazing in his eyes. Then something clicked. Instead of fighting back directly, he let his weapon dissolve, reforming it as a barrier that pulsed with light. Jin-Woo's blade cracked against it, not broken, but held. Jae-min gasped, sweat dripping down his temple. I did it. Jin-Woo smiled faintly. Good. You learned to respond, not repeat. Beru clapped from the sidelines, clicking his mandibles with delight. Magnificent. He fights with instinct and defiance. Just like the king. Exactly why he'll surpass me one day, Jin-Woo replied quietly. Weeks passed. The Echo-born grew stronger, faster, more aware of their connection to the balance. They learned to blend their powers, Min Seo's spectral beasts infused with Jae-min's light, the time manipulator syncing their attacks perfectly. They became more than students. They became a team. But Jin-Woo could sense it, the corrupted guardian was not idle. It was watching, learning, waiting. One night, as Jin-Woo stood alone by the campfire, the wind shifted. The flames flickered blue. A voice echoed faintly from within the fire. Training them for what you cannot face yourself. Jin-Woo's eyes narrowed. You survived. The guardian's voice was calm, almost soothing. Survival was never my goal. Evolution is. Jin-Woo's hand tightened around his dagger. Then evolve in hell. The flames flared, forming the guardian's faint silhouette. You misunderstand me. You are my beginning, and they, the figure gestured toward the camp where the Echo-born slept, they are my completion. Jin-Woo's jaw clenched. You touch them, and I'll erase you. The guardian's smile flickered in the firelight. Erase me. You already tried that once. Remember what the Echo said. Every world born from you will carry both light and shadow. I am simply ensuring the prophecy holds true. Then the flame died. Jin-Woo stood in the darkness for a long time. He could feel his pulse thundering, not from fear, but from anger. He whispered to the empty night, if this is what my legacy created, then I'll end my own story. The next morning, Jin-Woo gathered everyone. We're going after it, he said simply. Jae-min blinked. You found it. Jin-Woo nodded. The Guardian's rebuilding itself. Its energy signature is gathering beneath the ruins of the old dimensional rift, the same one where the Monarchs first entered our world. Min Seo's eyes widened. That place is unstable. Entering it could kill us. Jin-Woo looked at her with quiet determination. If we don't go, it will come to us. And this time, it won't stop at one world. Jae-min stepped forward, gripping his reforged sword. Then we go together. Jin-Woo nodded once. Together. As they prepared to leave, Beru hovered beside his king, voice low and uncertain. My king, I feel my essence fading. If I fall during the battle. Jin-Woo cut him off gently. You've done enough, old friend. If you fade, it's because you earned your rest. Beru bowed, trembling. It has been an honor, to serve the one who became both light and darkness. Jin-Woo placed a hand on his shoulder. No. It's been an honor to have you with me through all of it. For the first time, Beru smiled. And so, they set out, Jin-Woo and his echo-born disciples, into the depths of the ancient rift, where reality bent and time screamed. The final hunt of the Shadow Monarch had begun once more. The wind howled around them as they stood at the edge of the ruined rift. The ground pulsed faintly, veins of blue-black light running through the stone-like living arteries. Above, the sky twisted into a spiral of shimmering energy, part storm, part wound. Jin-Woo stared into it without flinching. Once we cross this line, we don't turn back. Jae-min tightened his grip on his sword. We've come this far. We finish it. Min Seo nodded, her spectral wolves forming around her, translucent bodies rippling with anticipation. Let's make sure this time the world stays quiet. Beru stepped forward, wings flickering weakly. My king, the rift remembers you. It opens for no one else. Jin-Woo closed his eyes. The air responded to him, humming, shifting, recognizing the essence of its former ruler. The ground split open, revealing a descending tunnel of spiraling light. He looked back once at his team. Stay close. The rift feeds on memory. If it shows you something, ignore it. Then he stepped inside. The descent felt endless. Walls of shimmering mana pulsed around them, whispering in half-heard voices, fragments of the past, the monarchs, screams, the rulers, commands, and Jin-Woo's own battle cries. The deeper they went, the louder the whispers became. Min Seo shuddered. It's like it's inside my head. Jin-Woo's tone was steady. That's how it tries to break you. The rift is alive. Jae-min grit his teeth. Then we'll silence it. Suddenly, the ground gave way beneath them. They fell, weightless, spinning through a void of flashing memories, until they landed in a vast expanse that seemed to have no horizon. Above them floated islands of shattered stone, suspended in midair. Fragments of ancient gates rotated lazily, glowing with broken symbols. And in the center of it all, a heartbeat. The corrupted guardian's new form pulsed within a cocoon of light and darkness intertwined, like veins around a dying sun. Jin-Woo felt it instantly, stronger, heavier, smarter. It's evolving faster than I expected, he murmured. The cocoon split open. The creature that emerged was no longer humanoid. Its body was sleek and shifting, armor made of light, wings of obsidian shadow. 6 glowing eyes opened across its face. Its voice echoed through the dimension like a chorus of souls. I am what you made inevitable. The union of chaos and order. Jin-Woo drew his blade. You talk too much. The guardian's 6 eyes flared. And you still don't understand. There cannot be peace without oblivion. The air exploded. The first strike shook the entire dimension. Jin-Woo moved faster than sight, meeting the guardian head-on, their blades of opposing energy colliding with a thunderous crack. Behind him, the echo-born spread out, each taking position as they had trained. Jae-min lunged forward, silver blades slashing upward, creating a crescent wave of energy. Min Seo's wolves leapt into the air, their fangs wreathed in spectral flame. The guardian swept its wings, summoning storms of distortion. Space warped, islands collided, gravity fractured, light bent in spirals. Focus. Jin-Woo shouted. Anchor your power to me. They did. Threads of mana connected them, steadying their movements. For a moment, their combined aura rivaled the old days of monarchs. Beru roared, diving toward the guardian's chest, clawing through its light armor. He landed a hit, only to be blasted back by a pulse of corrupted energy. The guardian laughed. Even your loyal shadow dares defy evolution. Jin-Woo's anger flared. He's not my shadow. He's my friend. He vanished and reappeared directly behind the creature, stabbing his blade deep into its spine. The guardian shrieked, flaring light in all directions. Jin-Woo yelled to the others, now. While it's exposed, Jae-min unleashed a beam of pure memory energy, the resonance of every battle humanity had ever fought. Min Seo's wolves exploded into dozens of smaller beasts, biting through the guardian's armor. For a moment, the impossible happened. The creature faltered. Then it laughed again, a low, echoing sound that made the air vibrate. You cannot kill what exists in every shadow you cast. It spread its arms wide. The dimension screamed. Reality tore open behind it, showing countless reflections, alternate worlds, timelines where Jin-Woo never rose, where monarchs still ruled, where humanity was extinct. The Guardian's voice thundered through all of them. I exist in them all. You destroyed gods, Jin-Woo. But you forgot, even destruction leaves an echo. Jin-Woo's expression hardened. Then I'll destroy the echo too. He thrust his hand forward, calling every remaining shadow in existence. Across worlds, his army responded, faint silhouettes of soldiers long gone, fragments of loyalty, courage, and darkness. They poured through the rift, surrounding him in an endless storm of black flame. Let's finish what I started, Jin-Woo said. He leapt, striking with enough force to split the sky. The battle became a blur of impossible motion, light and darkness twisting, collapsing, reforming. The Guardian lashed out, each blow carrying the weight of creation. Jin-Woo countered with the rage and love of every life he had sworn to protect. Jae-min and the others fought at his side, pushing their limits beyond reason. Blood mixed with mana, screams mixed with prayer. At last, the Guardian staggered. Its wings shattered. Its light flickered. But Jin-Woo was falling too, his shadows collapsing, his strength burning out. The Guardian whispered, fading. You can end me, but you will end yourself. Jin-Woo smiled faintly. Maybe that's the price of balance. He plunged his blade through its core. There was silence. Then a surge of pure white energy erupted, swallowing them all. When the light faded, the rift was gone. The sky was clear. The land was whole again. Jae-min woke first, coughing. Around him lay his teammates, unconscious but alive. And Jin-Woo. He was nowhere to be seen. Only his shadow remained, stretched across the ground, flickering faintly, as if waving goodbye. A quiet breeze swept across the battlefield, carrying with it the scent of dust and mana. The rift was gone. The sky above, once fractured and furious, was now calm, painted with streaks of gold and blue as dawn crept over the horizon. Min Seo stirred first, groaning softly as she pushed herself upright. Her wolves had vanished, but faint traces of their essence lingered, swirling light mist around her hands. She looked around and froze. Where's Jin-Woo? Jae-min stood silently nearby, his blade plunged into the earth. He didn't answer. His gaze lingered on the faint flicker of shadow imprinted on the ground, Jin-Woo's last echo. Beru knelt beside it, claws trembling. My king, he sacrificed himself, again. The words hit heavier than steel. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, Jae-min whispered, he always said balance needed sacrifice. But this wasn't balance. This was obliteration. Min Seo clenched her fists, tears streaking her face. He can't be gone. He always finds a way back. Beru looked up slowly. His mandibles clicked. Perhaps, this time, he found a way beyond coming back. Inside the silence of that vanished rift, something stirred. Not in the physical world, but in the space between shadows. Darkness and light coiled together, wrapping around a single fragment of consciousness. His heartbeat was faint but steady. Sung Jin-Woo floated in the void, his body disintegrating and reforming endlessly. Memories flickered around him, his first awakening, his battles, the faces of the fallen. Then he heard a voice. A familiar one. Still chasing the impossible, are you? He turned, and saw the illusion of Ashbourne, the shadow monarch, standing before him. The towering being looked as regal and sorrowful as ever, his dark crown glowing faintly. Jin-Woo's voice was weak but steady. You're gone. Ashbourne smiled. Gone is a simple word for those bound by time. You, however, are now beyond that. What do you mean? You've done what none of us could. You destroyed the balance itself. The rulers betrayed the monarchs. You faced their corruption. You ended both forces. Ashbourne stepped closer, the void rippling with each stride. But by doing so, you became the balance. Jin-Woo frowned. Balance. I'm no god. Ashbourne's gaze was steady. No. You are worse, you are free. The void trembled. Energy pulsed through Jin-Woo's form, light and darkness merging beneath his skin. I can feel everything, he whispered. Every shadow, every breath, every heartbeat across the worlds. Ashbourne nodded. Because you are now the world's conscience, the bridge between creation and destruction. Jin-Woo looked down at his hands, shimmering with alternating colors of white and black. Then, I didn't die. Ashbourne's smile widened faintly. Death is not the end. For you, it's just another door. In the real world, the survivors returned to Seoul. The city was scarred, some districts reduced to craters, the skyline fractured, but humanity was alive. News spread that the Shadow Monarch had vanished after sealing the final rift. People called him the savior who erased the gods. A month passed. Then too. Life began again. Hunters returned to training. Guilds reformed. The world, for once, felt stable. But at night, strange things began to happen. When the moon rose, some hunters claimed they heard whispers, calm, deep, familiar. Don't be afraid of the dark. It remembers your courage. Jae-min heard it too one evening while standing on a rooftop overlooking Seoul. The city lights flickered, and for a moment, he saw a silhouette standing beside him. Tall, silent, wearing a long black coat. Jae-min's eyes widened. Jin-Woo. The figure turned slightly, his face hidden in shadow. You did well. Jae-min froze. His throat tightened. Is it really you? Or just another echo? Jin-Woo smiled faintly. Does it matter? As long as you keep the light alive. And then, like mist, he vanished. Days turned to weeks, and stories spread, of people seeing shadows move protectively around them, of monsters retreating before unseen presences, of faint footprints in the dust after every crisis. To some, it was superstition. To others, a sign that their king still watched over them. Beru, now acting as the guardian of Jinnah and the remaining shadows, often stood at the window of the rebuilt Hunter Association building. He would stare at the sky and murmur, "My king, I can still feel you." A whisper would always follow. "And I can still hear you, my loyal friend." But peace is fragile. In the deepest corners of the underworld, remnants of the monarchs began to stir. The death of their kind had left a void, and nature hates emptiness. From that void, something new began to crawl. A voice, ancient and venomous, whispered through the abyss. He balanced the worlds. Now, we will unbalance them. Fragments of corrupted light twisted into form, merging with forgotten souls, soldiers who once followed the rulers, and monsters that feared the monarchs. Together, they formed a new order. They called themselves the Echo Dominion. Their goal: find the king who became light, and bring him back, as our weapon. Meanwhile, within the realm between worlds, Jin-Woo felt a shift. A disturbance rippled through his endless horizon. He looked up. The void trembled again, but this time it wasn't because of balance, it was because something had entered his realm uninvited. He frowned. Who dares? Before he could finish, a familiar face emerged from the darkness, a woman cloaked in feathers of pure white light. Her eyes burned gold. Long time, Shadow Monarch, she said softly. Jin-Woo's eyes narrowed. You. She smiled, bittersweet and tired. Don't look so surprised. Even betrayal doesn't last forever. It was the brightest ruler, the one who had once commanded the armies of light, and who had betrayed him in the final war. Why are you here? Jin-Woo asked coldly. To warn you, she whispered. The world you saved is fracturing again. And this time, it's not monarchs or rulers. It's something born from you. The void pulsed again. Jin-Woo's aura darkened. So, it begins again, he murmured. The void rippled like liquid glass as Jin-Woo stood facing the brightest ruler. Even in this realm of formless silence, her light shone like a blade cutting through eternity. Jin-Woo's eyes narrowed. Something born from me. Explain. She stepped closer, her feathers rustling softly though there was no wind. When you ended the balance, you merged what was never meant to merge. Darkness and light no longer oppose, they coexist. But that coexistence breeds instability. Shadows that remember the light, and lights that crave the dark. Her tone turned grim. They are gathering in your world, forming a dominion that mimics your power. The Echo Dominion. Jin-Woo's jaw tightened. Echoes, born from my existence. Yes, she said, meeting his gaze. Your very essence left traces in every realm you touched. Your shadows, your light, your rage, your mercy. Those fragments awakened. They remember what it means to fight, but not why. Jin-Woo looked down at his glowing hands. The balance within him pulsed like twin hearts, beating out of sync. So my peace created another war. The ruler's voice softened. You can stop it, Jin-Woo. You just need to return. He shook his head slowly. You know what that would mean. If I return, I break the balance again. The world needs peace, not my presence. Her expression darkened. Then it will fall without you. Meanwhile, on Earth, darkness began to leak back into the world. It started with whispers in forgotten dungeons, then mutated beasts emerging from cracks in abandoned gates. Hunters who went missing were later found, their bodies intact, but their shadows, gone. The Hunter Association called it, resonance events. But to those who had fought alongside Jin-Woo, it was something far more ominous. Min Seo watched as a new rift tore open above the Han River, glowing with both light and shadow. This isn't a normal gate, she muttered, feeling the hum of conflicting energies. Jae-min joined her, his aura crackling. It's reacting to something. Like it's listening. Beru landed beside them, his wings still half torn from the last battle. It listens to the king. Even in absence, his heartbeat echoes. A massive tremor shook the ground. The rift expanded, and from within it stepped a figure, humanoid, armored, and cloaked in shifting darkness. Its eyes burned like two pale moons. The creature spoke, its voice layered and fractured, as if dozens of beings were speaking through it. We are the memory of the king. The dominion of his will. Min Seo drew her daggers. That's not Jin-Woo. No, Jae-min said grimly. But it thinks it is. They attacked first. The Dominion soldier moved like shadow fire, every step a blur of speed and precision. Jae-min's sword met its claws in a shockwave that rippled across the river. Sparks of mana exploded with each strike, lighting the dark sky. Beru dove in from above, smashing into the creature with monstrous force. The Dominion caught him by the throat and threw him through a collapsed bridge. Min Seo flanked it, her spectral wolves materializing mid-leap. They sank their fangs into the Dominion's armor, only for it to melt into smoke, reappearing behind her. Too slow, it whispered, driving its claw toward her chest. A flash of blue light erupted. Jae-min blocked the attack, blood running down his arm. You're using his moves, he growled. But you're not him. The Dominion tilted its head. A copy does not need to be the original to fulfill the same purpose. Then, in a voice that was unmistakably Jin-Woo's, it said softly, you were supposed to protect them. Jae-min froze. His grip faltered for a heartbeat, and in that instant, the Dominion struck. It would have ended there if Beru hadn't reappeared, slamming the creature into the ground with a roar that shook the air. You dare speak in his voice. Beru screamed, his mandibles clicking in fury. You are nothing but a shadow without a soul. The Dominion smiled. Blood, or something like it, dripping from its lips. Aren't we all? Then it dissolved into mist, retreating into the collapsing rift. Later, as they regrouped, Min Seo clutched her chest. That thing, it had his aura. I felt it. Not just imitation, him. Jae-min nodded grimly. If that's true, then part of Jin-Woo's essence didn't stay sealed. It escaped. Beru's wings trembled. The king is calling to us. But something else is answering. Min Seo looked toward the horizon, where the moon hung low and crimson. Then we find the source. Before the Dominion finds him. Back in the void, Jin-Woo stood alone again, the ruler gone, her light fading. He felt the disturbance ripple through the infinite dark. He closed his eyes. So, they've started to move. The balance trembled. Shadows bent around him, forming faint outlines of the friends he'd left behind. He could sense their struggles, their pain, their stubborn hope. He clenched his fist. If my existence caused this. The darkness around him pulsed violently. Then my existence will end it. But the void wasn't silent anymore. From the distance came a voice, quiet, mocking, and all too familiar. End it. You still don't understand, do you? Jin-Woo turned sharply. From the far horizon of the void, something stepped forward, a shape like his own reflection, but distorted. Its eyes burned with both light and shadow, its aura identical yet wrong. The figure smiled, a perfect mirror of his own. I am what you left behind, it said. The echo that refused to fade. Jin-Woo stared at it, realization dawning like cold fire. You're me. The figure nodded. The part of you that wanted to destroy everything, the rage, the pain, the hunger for battle. You buried me when you became balance. It extended its hand, a dark light forming in its palm. But balance doesn't exist without chaos. So I came back. Jin-Woo's expression hardened. Then I'll erase you too. His reflection smirked. You can't erase yourself. The void shattered around them. The void screamed as the two Sung Jin-Woos collided. Every strike rippled through reality itself, light and shadow clashing like thunderheads, tearing rifts across the infinite horizon. Each blow created echoes that bled into the mortal world, earthquakes, sudden storms, flashes of black lightning dancing across the skies of Seoul. The real Jin-Woo fought in perfect silence. His breath was calm, his eyes clear. The echo fought with fury, raw, chaotic, unstoppable. They moved faster than thought, blades crossing and shattering, reforming out of pure mana. You can't win, the echo hissed, locking blades. You're trying to hold peace together with guilt. Jin-Woo pushed back. Peace isn't held together, it's protected. Protected. The echo laughed, eyes flaring crimson. You killed gods, monsters, kings. You destroyed everything that opposed you. That isn't protection, that's obsession. Jin-Woo's blade flared, cutting through the void. Maybe. But it kept the world alive. The echo vanished and reappeared behind him, slamming a shadow fist into Jin-Woo's chest. The impact threw him backward into the dark horizon. The void cracked like glass. Jin-Woo wiped the blood from his mouth. You sound like Antares, he said coldly. The echo grinned. Maybe because I carry what you took from him, his fury, his pride, his hunger. You absorbed too much, Jin-Woo. Even a god can't contain that forever. Jin-Woo raised his sword. Then I'll burn it out. They clashed again, light colliding with shadow, forming waves of energy that tore open miniature universes before collapsing them back into nothing. Every time the echo struck, it spoke in voices, fragments of his past, the rulers, the monarchs, even his own soldiers. You used us. You abandoned us. You became what you swore to destroy. Jin-Woo's strikes grew heavier. I did what I had to do. He roared. So humanity could live. The echo's laughter turned low and distorted. Humanity lived. But what about you? What did you live for, King of Shadows? The question pierced deeper than any blade. For a heartbeat, Jin-Woo faltered, and in that moment the echo plunged its hand into his chest, gripping the swirling light and dark core that pulsed within him. This power was never yours to balance, it whispered. It belongs to no one. The void convulsed. Jin-Woo gasped, feeling his strength being torn away, every shadow he had ever commanded, every light he had touched. Images flashed before his eyes, his mother smiling, Jinna laughing, Beru kneeling, Jaemin shouting his name in battle. He gritted his teeth. No. I'm not losing this. He slammed his palm onto the echo's chest, and instead of resisting, he pulled. Both screamed as their essences merged, twin halves colliding into one unbearable storm. The void turned white. When the light dimmed, only one figure stood. He was neither holy shadow nor holy light. His hair shimmered between black and silver, his eyes glowing with twin irises, one dark, one bright. His aura was silent, immense, and calm. He looked down at his hands. The wounds were gone. The pain was gone. Even the echo's voice was gone. In its place was stillness. For the first time, he whispered, "I feel whole." The horizon responded, smoothing out, rippling with quiet light. The endless chaos that had defined the void was gone. He had not destroyed his other self. He had accepted it. On Earth, the rifts suddenly began to collapse one by one. The Dominion soldiers, mid-battle with Jae-min and Min-seo, froze, their bodies flickering before dissolving into harmless motes of light. The storm above Seoul ceased. The moon turned pale and steady again. Jae-min dropped to his knees, breathing hard. It's over. Beru looked skyward, his mandibles trembling. No, it's peace. Min-seo wiped the sweat and tears from her face. He did it again. They felt it then, a warmth, gentle and immense, washing over them. A presence that wasn't commanding, but comforting. Jin-Woo's voice echoed faintly in the air. You fought well, my friends. This world no longer needs kings or rulers. Only guardians. Beru bowed deeply toward the sky. Always, my king. Then, for the first time in years, the world fell into true silence, not the silence of fear or aftermath, but of balance. In the void beyond void, Jin-Woo walked across the still horizon. The brightest ruler appeared once more, watching him quietly. You did it, she said. You reconciled what the universe could not. He nodded. But it cost me everything that tied me to that world. I can't return. She smiled sadly. Perhaps not. But they will remember. Jin-Woo looked into the distance, where faint reflections of Earth shimmered like stars. Then I'll watch. Not as a monarch. Not as a ruler. As something in between. He turned, his cloak of merged light and shadow flowing behind him. Tell them one thing if you ever walk there again. The ruler tilted her head. What should I say? He smiled softly. Tell them, I kept my promise. Then he stepped forward, and became part of the horizon itself, dissolving into the equilibrium he had created. The world was quiet again. No gates, no monarchs, no rulers, only people rebuilding under the same sun that once hid behind storms of mana and shadow. The memory of the shadow monarch lived on, not in fear, but in hope. Every time darkness gathered, the winds would shift. Every time despair crept in, the faint echo of his presence would return, gentle, steady, reassuring. They said when the moon was full, a figure could be seen standing where the last gate once opened, his silhouette cast against the stars. He never spoke. He never moved. But the world somehow felt safer knowing he was still watching. Sung Jin-Woo, the king who became the balance, was gone from the mortal world. Yet his legend had only just begun. For where balance exists, chaos eventually stirs again. And somewhere, beyond the veil of the void, a new light flickered, unfamiliar, unstable, and calling his name. The era of peace will soon be tested. And so ends part 1 of What If the Rulers Betrayed the Monarchs? The tale of shadows, balance, and the king who defied destiny. But the story isn't over. The world believes Jin-Woo has vanished. But destiny is already whispering his name once more. Stay tuned for part 3, The Return of the Unbound King. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So you don't miss the next chapter in this epic solo leveling what if saga. Because the Shadow Monarch always returns.